and Ambassador Meera Shankar, who is the former India ambassador to the US, is joining me on the broadcast. Ma'am, thank you very much for taking the time out and speaking to us on Mirror Now. As we, of course, speak about this significant development, your purview about how now this can potentially change the things going forward. Do you also believe this is a strong message to Russia as well?
Yes, I think that is the message, really, that America is there for the long haul and they are going to support Kyiv against Russia. And it comes on the anniversary of the launch of the invasion by Russia, as well as a day before Putin is expected to speak on the issue. Plus, it also comes on the eve of what is expected to be a major offensive by Russia, which is expected, and the fact that Russians had broken through two lines of Ukrainian defenses in recent days. And Ukraine had been raising the issue of a shortage of ammunition, because the European production lines were not sufficient to meet the Ukrainian demand. So there's a lot of things which come together, but the essential message is that the U.S. is with Ukraine for the long haul. We've seen that they've been willing to give more sophisticated weapons. Yes.
Right. Sorry to interject you, but what I also wanted to ask you, and just to draw this into context for our viewers, Ambassador Meera Shankar, with the fact that one of the messages being here that terrorism can never break civilized countries. Of course, on the other hand, Zelenskyy is stating that he is very thankful to the US for support. So just to talk about how things are panning out here in terms of reactions as well, how do you look at this going forward now for Ukraine?
Well, I see that the conflict is going to intensify, and that neither side is willing to listen to saner voices, which basically have been urging that there should be a ceasefire, negotiated ceasefire, and then the commencement of some kind of talks or engagement to try to resolve the conflict. Instead, what we are seeing is an escalation on both sides. And my personal view is that neither the Ukrainians will be able to achieve their maximum objective of driving Russia out of their territory, including the Crimea, nor will Russia perhaps be able to achieve its objectives, which we don't know very clearly what they are. Of course, now they're focusing on the eastern part of Ukraine. So given that neither side looks poised to be able to achieve their maximum objective, clearly there's a case for some kind of dampening down of the conflict rather than escalation, and then really commencing talks, because the world has been paying a very heavy price for this conflict in terms of higher energy prices, higher food prices. You look around us in South Asia, economies are collapsing, whether it's Sri Lanka or whether it's Pakistan or even Bangladesh has had to take an IMF loan to tide over. So you're seeing Nepal is under stress. From our point of view, really, escalation is not the issue. And then on the other hand, you're seeing that the Chinese foreign minister is going to be in Moscow, and there are talks of China mulling the supply of weapons to Russia, which till now the Americans have, managed to keep them from doing, though there have been some reports that some weapons have been going with North Korean markings. But, that's more surmise and speculation, no hard evidence. Right now, this is what Blinken and Wang Yi discussed, where Blinken said there would be consequences for China if it actually supplied weapons to Russia. So, there is this kind of an escalatory ladder which is worrying.
Right, Ambassador Meera Shankar, appreciate you taking the time out and speaking to us on Mirror Now and also sharing your perspective on this significant development. Thank you very much. We leave it at that for the moment. And